Hello and welcome to this BB Education tutorial. In today's tutorial, we are focusing on the essential skill of diffuse drying. We begin with the mannequin pre-washed. We only towel dry the hair. Be careful not to be too rough with how you apply the towel, as that can ruffle the cuticle, contributing towards frizz. We now look to fully detangle the hair using a wide tooth comb. We're then going to begin with some prep. This is applying the product as well as setting the curl. We'll begin at the nape, taking small horizontal sections to ensure we distribute the product equally and we set the curl equally. The first step is to ensure the hair is detangled. We're then going to apply the product. Today we're going to be applying a leave-in conditioning spray. If you feel the hair is very fine, you may prefer to use a mousse for hold. I want to use a product for smoothness. If you feel the hair is dry, you could use more oils. So the coarser the hair, the more you want to be loading more conditioning products, the more finer, the more hold you're going to need. We then start to do what I call setting the curl. This is where I pull small strands of hair and simply twist them once, at the very most twice around my finger. The goal of this particular movement is to help to create a more separated feel to the curl, help to reduce frizz, and help to give a more individual curl look to the end result. Taking the sections in the manner we have allows us to get a more equal distribution of the leave-in detangling product or leave-in conditioning product you're choosing to use. We also get a more equal result in how we groom the hair. You see here, we're only grooming the top section, we're not grooming all the underneath. We then go through and start the curl pattern. Like I said earlier, most times when you're blow drying long hair, you would section underneath, giving you a clearer access, making sure you get the blow dry completed the same underneath as you have on top. We just want to ensure that we dry, prep, everything we do equally throughout. So we keep taking sections. The higher up we go, eventually you'll cross into the side like so. Every time we take a section, we start again with the application of product, grooming the hair through, and then we start to set the curl. Okay, so again, each section you take, you reapply the product, you redo the curl, groom the hair through, the same steps. Okay, once that's completed, we will then start with the diffuse dry. As we come to the top, remember, we work with no parting. So all the hair is pulled directly forward, ensuring that the curl cascades over the face, illustrating the face frame haircut or aspect of the shape we've created. So we're going to go through no parting and do the same motion of prepping the curl. We can now continue on the opposite side using the same methods, ensuring we have consistency with all the prep work. One thing to do to bring together all these sections is just to loosely scrunch all the ends together, also helping to ensure that the curl pattern on the ends is still holding its curl shape. Once again, we get to the top. When you're combing here, be sure not to comb the side you've already done. We'll go through in the same manner, getting the curl prepped equally. This will be the final steps before we can actually diffuse dry our mannequin. So here we have our diffuser. I'm going to attach it to the hairdryer. The diffuser essentially helps to distribute the airflow and heat in a manner where we don't blast the curl. We're going to use a medium speed and a medium heat. We're going to dry the hair in the same way we prepped, which makes sense. It's how we would dry the hair if it was straight. We would section before we did it to ensure we get consistency of the root area. Here we isolate the section roughly around the nape. We're going to begin with our diffuser. So if we want volume or we want flatness at the root, it's all about the elevation of the section. Again, the same if you were using a brush. If you were using a brush, you would lift the hair away from the root for volume and you'd pull it below base if you wanted the hair to be flatter. It's the same thing. If I want volume, I would lift the hair and heat the hair through here. But we don't want volume. We want it to be a bit more controlled. So we're going to keep the hair lower. But if you did want volume, lift the hair, apply the diffuser underneath to get volume. Here, we let the hair sit to natural fall, and we're going to press the actual diffuser gently against the root area. Now again, the diffuser distributes the airflow in a way where it isn't blasting the curl and making it frizz. That's the essential thing to understand about what a diffuser gives you. It simply helps us to heat the hair without blasting it with the airflow. We slowly and consistently dry the root area first. We never want to fully dry anything on our first go. So now I've got the roots a little bit dry, I'm going to focus on the ends. I lift the section, drop it on top of the diffuser and kind of scrunch the hair with the diffuser, if you will. So what we're looking to do, if you look here, I put the hair on it and I kind of lift it up so it's almost scrunching and helping to form the curl, taking any weight off the hair, letting it sit in the diffuser, get heated, get dried, and get that curl set formed. What we're looking to do here is have the root area about 80% dry, but have the ends about 60% dry. This is to ensure that we don't frizz the hair, because as we continually dry the rest of the hair, the heat will still hit the section we've just started. We take our next section and we're going to dry much the same way. Remember, if you wanted volume, what do? You lift the hair above its base and you dry it. So this is off base, okay? We lift it off base to get volume. We'll drop it to its own base, its natural fall, to get it flatter. Let's just go through these steps again. We gently press the diffuser against the root area, helping to control how this curl pattern will expand. So this will help to keep it from expanding outwards and making it look too large. The next step will be that we look at how much of a percentage do we dry the root. Remember I said we want to be about 80% dry. Because you see, even now as I'm applying heat here, I'm applying heat to the previous section underneath. This is why we don't fully dry. Otherwise you're going to risk over drying the hair. Now I grab the entire section, I place it, rest it gently on top of the diffuser. This is so that the air will flow through the hair and making the curl dry evenly and neatly. We now continue with the next section above. You see we're working in the same way. We diffuse gently on the root area and then we do the ends. We never fully dry because as we continue drying throughout the hair, we end up drying the sections underneath as well. So this means that drying slowly in this way with low speed and low heat help us to achieve a beautiful curl without the frizz. One thing try not to do is to over touch the hair. You see how as I'm touching the hair here, it doesn't really help you to keep touching the hair. You're going to disrupt it whereas the hair is still warm. If the hair is still warm, the keratin is more malleable. You want to let the hair cool really before you start to touch it, because when the hair's cool, the hair's set. We can now start the side. Once again, you see it seems rather boring because you think I'm saying the same things over and over again. But this is the thing with the diffuse dry. You end up kind of rushing the final steps because you're thinking this is just easy, but that's when the frizz can happen. So again, don't overtouch. Dry the roots first, then dry the ends, dry in sections, and also ensure that you don't fully dry what you're doing. Thank you for viewing this preview of one of our tutorials from our tutorial library. Our online education site has over 100 tutorials ready for you to access to help you or your team take the next step in your careers. To view the rest of this tutorial, visit benbrown.hair. Thank you again for watching. I hope to see you soon.